Welcome to Unlocking Levels, y'all. Today is a special day. I've reached 2,000 consecutive days of practicing meditation using the Headspace app. And in today's episode, I'm going to share a bunch of different lessons that I've gathered from this time, from this experience, and just share a lot about what meditation has done for me in general. Incorporating it into my life has been a very special thing to do. It's been a game changer in many ways. And just want to show y'all kind of the layout. Look at that, man. I reached 2,000 consecutive days, and I reached 29,857 minutes. It's pretty crazy when you really think about it. The cool thing about Headspace, man, is it really allows you to it really helps you more than anything keep track of and remain accountable to staying in the practice of meditation. I use it every single day. Obviously, 2,000 days reached today. What's today? March 2nd, Sunday, March 2nd of 2025. And man, when you see it kind of on the horizon as you're practicing it every single day and you're seeing your run streak approach that 2,000 mark, right? You're like, wow, yep, I'm approaching 2,000. And that's a pretty significant number. It's a nice round number for sure. But I think an important milestone because it's about 5.5 years consecutively that I've been able to practice meditation for. And that's the most consistent I've been at damn near anything in my life, to be honest with you, aside from, the basic things like brushing your teeth every single day and doing things that out of habit every single day, right? Like now, this is more than just a practice. It's something that I do and it's embedded in me. I don't start my day without meditation. And at various points in the day, I find myself gravitating towards the practice of meditation. And as I mentioned earlier, I want to share some of the key things that it's kind of helped me with, man, in my life, and in hopes that it can help you. You know what I'm saying? If you know anything about meditation, man, it's a beautiful practice. It's been around for centuries. You know what I'm saying? It's been practiced by so many reputable people, and there's so much science-based information that backs how beneficial it is to somebody if you incorporate it into your life. And speaking firsthand, meditation is something that, like I mentioned earlier, is a game changer. It absolutely is a game changer. Um, Rewinding back a little bit here, the way I got introduced to meditation was maybe back in 2015 or 2016 when I was living out in Los Angeles, California. I was in sales at the time. In the office that I was working at, there was a studio right nearby where a lot of artists would come and do a lot of work, and they would also do a lot of different events over there. And one day I saw they were advertising a flyer that made it to me, and it said that they were teaching meditation classes for free. So I got intrigued. I was very curious, and I ended up deciding to go in there on the day that they were teaching the class. I didn't really know what to expect. I had heard about meditation in the past. I didn't really know what it was about. I would always picture, you being cross-legged and just kind of, closing your eyes, just holding your hands out like this or something like that, kind of like you would see a Buddhist monk do or something like that, right? That was kind of my general idea of what meditation was. I was very unfamiliar with what it was, so going into it, I that was my baseline expectation, right? I go into this situation with a bunch of random people I've never seen before. I've never really hung around before. I didn't know anybody in there, and it seemed like a few people knew each other in there, and they were, mingling and things of that nature before the actual session started. And the teacher at the time, who I at the moment I can't remember that person's name. Um, he gathered everybody, welcomed all new faces, and went around the room. We all introduced ourselves. It was probably a room of maybe like 25 to 30 people. And I was in LA just looking to experience all these different things and just kind of open myself up to the world. And what better way to be introduced to meditation than to kind of be in a room full of strangers and just open yourself to new experiences like that. And it was a real dope experience, and I'm really glad that I did it. And as the lesson kind of unfolded, I remember the first time because I had went to maybe like 3 or 4 sessions after that, just to kind of get my technique down and understand more about the practice, and see if it was going to be beneficial to me. But I remember as he was teaching the class, he kind of told us how to position ourselves and just get comfortable. Really, it doesn't necessarily have to mean that you have to sit cross-legged, but in the studio space we were at, like, it offered pretty nice amount of room, so everybody kind of had their own spot. They picked their own space, and you were on the floor, whether you're sitting on a pillow, wherever the case may be, and you could sit down however you want, but as long as you keep your back straight. And then eventually he started the guided meditation, and he would instruct us on what to do, and basically, in a very calm fashion, guide us through breathing processes, and how we should position ourselves, and ultimately just kind of get yourself comfortable. And after a while, what I started to find as I followed the instructions and the direction of this teacher, I started to calm down. My nerves started to ease a lot more. My anxiety kind of went away, and I was really calm. And it was an amazing thing, because in that calmness, I was able to hear my thoughts. I was able to analyze my thoughts more and be more present. And you could feel your heart rate slowing more, and the stress just starting to vanish. The more you're doing it, the more you're taking in controlled breaths, and you're hearing the calmness, and you're feeling the calmness of other people around you energetically, and it has an effect on you for sure. And needless to say, like I mentioned earlier, I had went back for maybe like 2 or 3 more sessions, and I really started to see the benefit of meditation. So much so that I actually started practicing it in my own space, in my own apartment, when I was living in Los Angeles, California, and I started incorporating it into my daily routine. I wasn't nearly as consistent as I have recently been, where I've achieved this 2,000 consecutive days milestone, but I would incorporate it, and I would kind of lean into meditation when I felt the need to, versus kind of being proactive about it and incorporating it on a day to day basis, right? And it was a great practice for me. I was very young at the time, and I knew that it allowed me to kind of go to a different place in my mind. And really, honestly, mostly what it was doing for me was it was anchoring me to the present moment. It was helping me alleviate myself of the anxiety that I used to deal with, and I still deal with. You know what I'm saying? I'm not particularly a master at it per se, but I feel like I've got a better grip on my anxiety, and I know how to manage myself better through the stress, and I'm able to um, ease myself a little bit more through the practice of meditation, and I can see things more clearly, and it helps provide a better direction of where I want to go. It helps me make better decisions in my life, right? And fast forward to about 2019, and I moved back to San Francisco, the Bay Area. And at this time, I was actually working for the Golden State Warriors when they had recently moved to the Chase Center in San Francisco, and it was a real cool experience to do that. Needless to say, they are a world class franchise. They invest a lot of resources into their employee well being, and one of the benefits of being able to be an employee over there was that I had access to certain things, for free too. For free on my end. It was paid for by the Warriors, but one of those things was the app Headspace. And if you're unfamiliar with the app called Headspace, it's a meditation app. It's a guided meditation app, and there are many other apps out there. One being the Calm app. There's other ones that are out there that you can use your phone with that provide guided meditations, and it helps you kind of keep track of your progress, and offers all these analytical tools, and really just again helps you be more accountable to the practice of meditation. Because if you can't kind of already tell by now, and I'll expand on it a little bit more as this episode evolves, but if you can't already tell that consistently incorporating this practice into your daily life can be something that changes your life for the better. It improves your life on so many levels, and there's so many different elements to it, and there's different practices, there's different methods of doing it. There's so much to learn, and it's such a valuable tool. And speaking firsthand, I really mean that. I'm very genuine about how much meditation has helped me in my life, and it's a practice. Like I said, it's not even something that I think about anymore. It's out of habit now. I cannot do anything. I don't allow myself to do anything until I began my day with meditation. And it's something that you can always go back to. You know what I'm saying? And just going back to the app Headspace itself, being able to have access to it for free, you know, um, it was real cool. I was able to understand, like, how the app itself started. I'm not even sure when it first came out or whatever the case may be, but what I do know is the CEO and founder of it. His name is Andy Puddicombe, and I know that he spent time as a Buddhist monk, a long time, similar to the story of Jay Shetty. If you're familiar with who Jay Shetty is, he's the host and CEO of On Purpose podcast. And he talks all about meditation and self development. And he's done a lot of collaborative interviews with some very reputable people that are well known and things of that nature. And it's his story is very similar to the CEO of Headspace, Andy Puddicombe. He spent much time as a Buddhist monk, and essentially what both of them ended up doing was learning how to live as a monk, learning to achieve peace and even enlightenment, and bring it back to society in a sense, and just kind of teach it uh, while incorporating and using technology through apps and through our devices to kind of help it be more accessible to people. And I love it. I love it because it's almost like it took me back to that space where I was in that studio in Los Angeles again, where I'm sitting there in a room full of other people and doing a guided meditation. Every time I put on a meditation on the Headspace app, it feels like that. It almost teleports me back to that time. And it's real cool because every time he does a guided meditation, you can choose which ones you want, right? Every time he does a guided meditation, he offers a perspective, right? Every day there's a brand new one. And it's real cool because getting that perspective for somebody that's developed this perspective through living as a Buddhist monk, who are among some of the most peaceful people that, in my estimation, have figured out life in a way um, that is very meaningful, and they just live with such a vibrant energy. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's in many ways what I strive to be in my own life. And living in a city, living in society where so many different things are prioritized and things of that nature, it can be hard, right? Not all of us could just go off the grid and become a monk. And, even though that's out there, I'm sure it's an option for you if you wanted to, but, you know, it's not really suitable for me. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that, but that doesn't mean that you can't incorporate some of the techniques that they've learned about, they've started doing in their own lives. And you can't, it doesn't mean that you can't feel some of the benefits by doing that too. You know what I'm saying? So it's real cool. If you haven't checked out the Headspace app, I'm not even, I'm not, there's no brand affiliate with Headspace. This is just something that has helped me, throughout the course of my life since I've started using the Headspace app. Like I said, in about 2019, since 2019 to right now. And what's cool about it is, like, it's almost like one of these fitness apps, man, where it tracks your progress. And I like to track a lot of things in my life, you know what I mean? So it tracks your progress, it tracks your analytics, and it gives you feedback. It does like check-ins with you. There's specific courses designed for certain situations. And it's just great, honestly. There's so many different elements to this app that aim to help and aim to provide some sort of structure when you're out there just learning how to meditate. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're somebody that's brand new to meditation, it simplifies the process. It walks you through it. I've heard of people falling asleep when they meditate. You know what I'm saying? And I understand how that can happen, but having like a guided meditation actually helps you kind of stay on course, and you start to feel the benefits. You may not, just like in a gym, you may not feel the benefits right away in your first session, your first week, but the more consistently you go, the more consistently you practice this, you're going to feel the benefits, and you're going to see the results of change, for the better, and you're going to improve in many different areas, so long as you stay consistent to it, right? And for me, one of the biggest lessons I've learned through 2,000 consecutive days of meditation is, for for me personally, I've always kind of struggled with commitment issues. And that's kind of been something that's been part of my identity for a really long time. And maybe in the future we can unpack that a little bit, but for time's sake, we'll just kind of leave that as is right now and just kind of understand that that's been something that I've been challenged with. But for me, looking back at hitting that 2K mark consecutively, it shows me, it's proof, it's evidence that I actually could stay committed to something if I believe it to be beneficial to me, or if I choose to, right? And I've chosen to do that with this app, with this practice. And honestly, I've mentioned this earlier, it's been a game changer, and it's absolutely the truth. I think the biggest thing meditation has done for me, honestly, has it's allowed me to just tap into myself way more. I think historically, throughout the course of my life, I've been an overthinker. I've referenced that I've dealt with anxiety, as many of us do. Um, and I tend to overthink situations sometimes, right? But meditation, what it does, especially when you kind of learn to control your breathing, when you learn to anchor yourself to the present moment, because the way an overthinker's mind works is it'll just go in so many different directions. The mind will go in so many different directions if you just allow it to go off on its own. You know what I mean? But the practice of meditation, it centers you, it balances you, it brings you back to whatever's happening right now versus venturing off into the future, peering off into the past, whatever the case may be. Wherever your mind goes, what it does is it brings you back to right here, right now, and you feel everything in that present moment by breathing in deeply, by listening to the sounds around you, and you just feel way more present in the present moment. And it eases your anxiety, it calms you, it relieves your stress. There's so many different things that it does for me. And then for me, recently, what I've incorporated into my meditation practice um, is taking time, at the end of my guided meditation to just simply practice gratitude and visualize my life and how I envision, and how I want it to be. You know what I mean? Like, and I visualize how I want my day to go. Right? I take that time. I sit there and I think about all the different things to be grateful for. I think about all the different things that I'm blessed with right now, because I think it's so easy to get caught up in what you don't have and all the chaos that life has to offer sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But when you're meditating and you practice gratitude, what it does for you is like what I'll do is I'll check in with my body. I'll say, look, all my limbs work, my eyes work, I can hear, I can taste, I can touch, I can smell, I have a roof over my head. I can go down a list of just everything that I feel grateful for. And when I do that, what I'm doing is changing my energetic state, and I feel it almost immediately as you really just sit there and you feel that gratitude for all these different things that you're identifying that you should be grateful for. And it's a powerful tool, because you're sitting there, you're already in a very calm state because you've already meditated, and now you're sitting there, or you're laying there, whatever, wherever you position yourself as, and you're sitting there, and you're just raising your frequency by sitting there and being present and practicing that gratitude. And then what I'll do is I'll switch over and I'll start visualizing. Okay, and I'll start affirming my day. I'm gonna say, look, today's gonna be a great day. It's a beautiful day. You're blessed. Whatever happens today, you are in control of yourself. Everything is happening for your greatest good. These are all things that I say to myself in my own mind, right? Like, these are the conversations that I have within my own mind. And it's very powerful. It's very, very powerful. And I mentioned the Headspace app. It offers a bunch of different courses as well, right? So, like, there's specific courses that are designed for dealing with stress, dealing with anxiety, and it's even to the point where it's scenario based. Oh, dealing with difficult people, or dealing with the loss of a loved one, dealing with switching jobs, dealing with the news of the world, dealing with social media pressure. All these different courses that are out there, dealing with um, not being able to sleep, right? There's all these different tools, videos, and courses, and there's a bunch of other different people out that are on the app that can provide perspectives, and also, just provide different guided meditations, so you don't have to hear Andy Puddicombe's voice. You can find somebody's voice who you feel is a little bit more soothing. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a great app. It's just really a great app. Meditation is such a great tool. It's such a powerful tool. Um, Even though I've hit 2,000 consecutive days or more than that, really technically, of meditation, I'm still a baby. I'm still an infant when it comes to this practice. I'm still learning so much more about it. And, what I have learned mostly about it is it's like the gift that keeps on giving. You know what I'm saying? It's something that is always there. And there's always like another layer to be unveiled as you practice it. You just get better and you find more. The practice itself helps you find out more about yourself and how far deep you can kind of get in tune with yourself. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's just a real special, real special tool to have access to now. You know what I mean? And I feel like this is something I'm going to be doing forever. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the next time I'll do a video on this is when I hit that 3K mark or when I hit that 5K mark. You know what I'm saying? Because this is I want to see how far I can take. I want to meditate till my last day. You know what I'm saying? And it's really cool. It's a real cool thing to do. It's different from prayer. I do pray every single day too. I talk to God. I have a relationship with God, and I do have my conversations with God, right? But it's a different type of experience when you're actually meditating because you're just really tapping into self, and you're getting more in tune with yourself, learning your nature, and you're affirming who you are. There's a lot of different things that go on in the mind, and really you start to understand how to operate as who you are. And I don't know if that even makes sense, to be honest with you, because the way my mind works, and especially how I've kind of molded it to work by using meditation, um, it's helped me in so many different ways. So like I can do a lot more, because I've been doing it for so long. I trust myself with my thoughts. I trust myself um, as I analyze my and observe my thoughts. I check in with my body, right? I know how to calm myself down a whole lot better. And you know what it's done in terms of my work life, in terms of my relationships, in terms of my relationship with myself, in terms of my overall health and my mental health, my spiritual health. It's transformed so many different things, and I'm so grateful that I walked into that studio that one day. You know what I'm saying? And I'm so grateful to the Warriors for introducing me to the Headspace app. I'm so grateful to Andy Puddicombe for creating the Headspace app, and I'm grateful for anybody that is a advocate for meditation and the practice of meditation, and anybody that does it, man. I think if you're somebody that done it for a consistent amount of time for a long period of time, and you know what the benefit of meditation is. It's really hard to articulate it into words. It's really an experience that must be experienced by the person. You know what I'm saying? And all I can say is, if you haven't learned anything about meditation, or if you're on the fence about meditation, I say give it a try. Give it a try for like a week. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to meditate for 2 hours. You don't have to meditate for an hour. You don't have to meditate for 45 minutes. Try 5 minutes. Try 10 minutes, and then do it again the next day. And then do it again the next day. And then do it again the next day. And see if that helps you. Carve out the time, create the time in your schedule. If that means that you got to wake up an hour earlier to do it, do it. I highly encourage you to do it because the benefits are, again, indescribable. You're just going to have to kind of experience it for yourself to know what I'm talking about. And it may work for you, it may not work for you, but you should at least try. You know what I mean? I strongly encourage you to at least try. And as somebody that's been doing this for a long enough time, I definitely believe in the power of it. And I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, man, I hope y'all learned something today, man. I hope that um, throughout this episode you were able to pick up some gems, man. I just really enjoyed being able to do this and chop it up with y'all organically. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, it's been a hell of a beginning to the year so far. We are now in March of 2025, and time is flying by, y'all. What are y'all doing, man? I would definitely encourage you and advise you to do an audit of your life right now. Like, do an assessment of your life right now. Like, are you doing the things that you said that you wanted to do at the beginning of the year when you made that resolutions list? And if you are, man, kudos to you for real. And keep going. That's all I'm gonna keep saying, because I'm gonna keep going, and I'm gonna keep growing, that's for sure. And I want to see that for y'all as well. And let's go ahead and do that together, man. The sky's the limit. Really, there ain't no limit, man. Not even the sky's the limit, man. Like, we're limitless beings, man. We can do whatever we want if we put our minds to it, man. This is it's a special gift, this life that we've been given, you know what I'm saying? And I don't take it for granted one bit. And I know how privileged I am. And I just want to make the most of my life while I'm here, inspire as many people as I possibly can. And I just love being able to tap in with y'all, connect with y'all, and this is so fun, man. So you're gonna see a lot more of this. Like I said, man, I've been doing this, once a week. I took a little bit of a breather for the past couple weeks. The schedule has been a little hectic. Not trying to make excuses, but um, I'm back at it right now, and I'm gonna just go hard going forward, man, for sure. You're gonna see me out here a lot more because I feel like I'm honestly just getting more comfortable behind this mic, even though I've been doing this for about 4 or 5 years now. You know what I mean? Like in April, actually, Blessed Beyond Measure podcast is going to hit its 5 year anniversary. I started this in the pandemic, which was like in 2020, right? And yeah, man, it's funny talking about meditation because I think meditation had a lot to do with me creating this whole podcast too, because I was able to kind of come to the conclusion like I need to do this. This is something that I want to do and I'm gonna do. And look, lo and behold, I'm out here doing this thing, man. And it's been 5 years, and we're gonna keep going, and we're gonna keep growing. And man, I thank you so much for being here as part of my journey. And if you're here and you've been here from Jump Street, whether you've been here from Jump Street or you're a new follower, man, thank you for being here. I appreciate and love y'all, man. And yeah, man, let's keep going. Let's keep growing, y'all. Peace and love.